Have you ever gotten so angry with your boss that you wanted to walk out the door? Not just walk out the door, but to extract a little revenge in the process? There's an advice columnist named Jeffrey Zaslow who once asked his readers that question, and some of the answers were interesting. Several waitresses and secretaries said their most satisfying career moves were out the door. Gina, a waitress, told how her boss once offered her a 10-cent raise and thought it was a big favor. She saw it as a big insult, and her customers egged her on to quit. It made her day, she says, to see the manager running from table to table, trying to fill her shoes. Chicago Cubs outfielder Andre Dawson paid a $1,000 fine for disputing a strike called by the umpire. On the memo line of his check, he wrote, "Donation for the blind." Amy Grant, that wonderful Christian singer, was just a teenager when she caught the ear of a record producer, and out of the blue, he called her late one night to offer her a recording contract. Just as Amy was accepting the contract, her father picked up the extension phone and told her that she was grounded for talking after curfew. The biggest moment of her young life, and she just got grounded. She was so angry that she didn't even tell her parents about the contract till the next day. We all get angry. Even Jesus got angry. Don't ever let anyone tell you that it is unchristian to be angry. Like any emotion, anger is a part of being a human. However, there are appropriate ways to deal with anger, and there are very inappropriate ways to deal with anger. And how we deal with that can be a very destructive emotion. Some of you probably have heard or seen about the Philadelphia Eagles fan who was at the game with the Green Bay Packers and verbally attacked a woman who was sitting near to him wearing Green Bay Packer jersey. And unfortunately for him, her fiance was recording it, and it went viral. And I can't even tell you what he said. It wouldn't be acceptable in a gutter, let alone in a church. But it's out there, and he has been banned for life from the Philadelphia Eagles football games at their stadium. And he's been fired from his job where he worked at a diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting firm. I know, can you imagine? And they're going to have to try to deal with that fallout from that. He is no longer in their employ, and it will be hard for him to find any job. We deal with anger, but we have to find appropriate ways to deal with anger. We need to be careful how we express our anger, but we shouldn't hang on to our anger. Anger kills. According to Dr. Redford Williams, who's the director of Duke University's Behavioral Medical Science Center, the hostility and anger associated with type A behavior is a major contributor to heart disease in America. People who struggle with anger are 5 times as likely to suffer coronary heart disease as the average person. People with heart disease more than double their risk of a heart attack when they get angry. I had a heart attack at 41. I'm not preaching to you this morning. I'm preaching to me. We need to find ways to channel our anger in positive ways, learn from our anger and use our anger not to destroy, but to better lives. That's what Muhammad Ali did. Back when he was a boy, known as Cassius Clay then, a child living in Louisville, his parents bought him a brand new bicycle. Proud and happy, he parked it outside a gym one day. Then someone stole it, and it just about broke his heart. Someone told him that there was a policeman in the basement, and so he told the policeman that when he was going, that he was going to go find this guy who stole his bike, and he was going to beat him up. And the policeman discovered that he didn't know how to box. He didn't know how to fight. And so the policeman taught him. That's how he got his start into boxing. He never found the thief. But from that day forward, he said every time he got into the ring, he looked across at the other fighter and told himself, "Hey, that guy stole my bicycle." You're right. Whoa. I'm not suggesting that we all take up boxing when someone has wronged us, though it may be not a totally bad idea, but rather than letting our anger be a stumbling block, let it be a stepping stone. Anger can be a great motivator as long as we find appropriate ways to channel it. Colleen Jennings, in Decision magazine, described her way of dealing with anger. She says that once she admits that she is angry, she pictures herself handing her feelings to Jesus. As 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Cast all your anxieties on him, for he cares for you." Then she asks God to give her the ability to see her circumstance from God's perspective. It may not change her circumstances, but it affects her response. For the inevitable times when she feels overwhelmed and needs to vent her anger, she has developed a habit that she learned from David's example in Psalm 55. David poured his heart out to God. If David could pour his heart out to God, Colleen says she can too. Before she goes to sleep, she dumps all of her toxic waste, frustrations, irritations, disappointments, and hurts onto God. She may ramble, she says. She often cries, but she gets it out. She says she can almost hear God saying, "It's okay. I'm with you on this. Let it go." Great advice. Turn our anger over to God. So let's be careful how we deal with anger. It's not unchristian to get angry, part of the human condition. Anger can even be constructive. How we deal with anger sets the follower of Jesus apart from the rest of the world. So let's turn it over to God. Pour out our hurts to God. Pour out our hearts to God. God can heal our anger. Above all, says the Apostle Paul, following the example of our Lord, do not repay evil for evil. May you and I be blessed by this simple witness in His name.